Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Therefore, a free people must take action in every new day to save their democracy from concentrations of power. Given all that we've seen and experienced in recent years, a deep recession, foreclosures, declining wages, bailouts of banks too big to fail, tax cuts on top of tax cuts for the super wealthy, people aren't wrong to conclude that the policy choices of our nation are increasingly controlled by money, for money, and not by us. And when Americans feel their country no longer works for them and for their families, voting becomes merely an act of protest. Not long ago, it seemed America's electoral system was actually one of the important unifying rituals of our democracy. But twice now, in the span of just 4 national elections, we have inaugurated to the presidency the candidate who actually lost the popular vote. This is not how a democracy is supposed to work when it's working. Therefore, we must reform our democratic institutions even as we retool for a changing economy. In fact, we cannot make our children winners in this third industrial revolution unless we also take action to save our democracy. It's not too late. We must not only guarantee the right to vote, but we must also take other actions essential to restoring the trust we have lost in one another, because trust is the heart of any republic. Some of the needed reforms have long been discussed. Most are well understood, and many now enjoy growing popular support. Among them, making the right to vote a constitutional right, overturning Citizens United, the Supreme Court decision which allowed corporations and concentrated wealth to essentially buy elections with unlimited cash, public financing of election campaigns for Congress and other offices, an end to politically gerrymandered congressional districts, and openness to new approaches like ranked choice voting, replacing the antiquated electoral college with a national popular vote. But there's one more reform that has not been much discussed. One critically important reform to address the sort of corporate greed which elevated, promoted, and directly contributed to the election of Donald Trump. We must reform the fairness doctrine to network and cable news coverage of our election campaigns, especially our presidential election contests and the primary debates which so directly affect our final choices. This is not a question of balance. It is a question of fairness and integrity. Only we can restore the integrity necessary for public trust in our public institutions. It is time to bring back the fairness doctrine to campaign news coverage. The future of our republic depends on it. There can be no real economic reform in America unless there is real political reform in America. This we believe.